Hello, Steve here. Hey, today I'm going to be doing some bench testing. I'm going to be testing the headspace in the 3 different positions that the Trangia spirit burner can be placed in the Folding Firebox Nano. So this will kind of give you an idea of which way to set your Nano up depending upon what you're trying to accomplish. So I'm just out here in front of the warehouse, but come along with me. I'm going to take you back into the warehouse part of our office, and I've kind of got something set up here. So, oh, I just locked myself out. I'll have to go around. So this first section we're going to go through is where Perry Peacock and Shauna Peacock will be working. There's Perry working his heart out. So this is where they do all their production. There's Shauna. She doesn't even know I exist because she's got her headphones in. Here's some of his ponchos hanging here to dry. They do the seam seal and then hang them there to dry. But that's where Perry and Shauna do all the Wilderness Innovation production. And here we have Kai, our shipping manager. And you can see he's busy. He's got all kinds of stuff he's putting together, getting ready to ship out. But anyway, let me show you my setup out here for this experiment. I've got my, this is my table I kind of come out and do prototype work on. So I've cleared off a section of that. And that's where I'm going to be doing my experimenting. Let me show you what we have here. We have 3 titanium nanos, and I'm going to set those up in 3 different ways. I've weighed the fuel in 3 different Trangia spirit burners to exactly 132 grams. So they're all exactly identical. I have 3 pots of water that are identical. They all have 2 cups of water in each, and they are the same temperature, poured from the same jug. Okay, so what I wanted to do here first is set up each of the nanos. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and open these up. Go ahead and take out the pins. I'll only actually need the pins for one of the setups. So there's one nano there. I'm going to set this one up with the Trangia just sitting all the way at the bottom. Okay, this next one is going to be set up. Let me pull out the nano sticks. This one's going to be set up with the Trangia resting on its cap. So I'm going to leave the caps on right now because I don't want fuel to be evaporating unevenly or whatever else between these. But as I get closer, I'll take the caps off. So this last nano, we're going to be setting up with the nano sticks. So this will be the highest position. We'll go ahead and run the nano sticks through their position, and then the Trangia fits in that highest position there. So I'm going to leave these the nano legs kind of sideways because I want to be able to access that Trangia alcohol burner easily. So the legs can be put inward for a small pot, or they can be put outward for a larger pot or pan, which also increases your footprint, so it makes it more stable as well for the larger pots and pans. But I'm just going to do these sideways because I want to be able to reach in and grab that Trangia very easily and quickly. So what I wanted to do first is measure the headspace on all these different setups. Okay, and that is 15/16 of an inch. So I've dropped the cap down. I'm leaving the O-ring in, and I'll show you that the temperature does not get very hot. So this is going to be the next lower position. I'm going to go ahead and measure this headspace. Is 1 and 3/16. Okay, and this last one we're just going to drop right into the bottom of the Nano. And let's go ahead and measure that headspace. Okay, this is 1 3/4. Let's go ahead and light them all so they can come to a bloom. Okay, they're all lit. We'll let those come to a bloom. I've got my information papers in front of the correct samples. And I'm going to bring my timer. I have my temperature alarm set for 200 degrees, which is the boiling temperature for 6,000 foot elevation, which is where we're at here. Okay, I can hear the hiss a little bit, so I know we've got some good action going on. So I think I'm going to go ahead and start this. I'm going to push start and put these all on. Run the temperature probe in this one with the largest amount of headspace because I know that it will run the fastest just from my prior experience. So I'm just going to make sure these are all centered and they look good. Okay. Now that this is running and it's going to take a little while to come to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and kill the lights so that I can show you the difference in the flame pattern itself and in the color of the flame. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the lights. And I'm going to pull this camera off of the tripod and show you the flame on all of these. Now the flame color is actually fairly important depending upon what you're doing. A red flame or an orange flame is an indication of unburned fuel, and so it's also an indication of the production of carbon monoxide. So if you're in a enclosed situation, you know, you want to have a nice blue flame because then you know it's going to be very clean. So this is the 1-inch headspace or 15/16 inch headspace, which is a nice blue flame that washes over the pot really nicely. Very nice, efficient flame. And then this is the 1 3/16 inch headspace, and there's a little bit of orange color in this flame. Not a lot, but there is a little bit. And then we have the 1 3/4 inch headspace, which there's really quite a bit of orange color to this flame here. So once again, that's the largest amount of headspace here, and then the medium headspace, and then the close headspace. Okay, so let's go ahead and let this run. It looks like our temperature is up to 131 degrees. And I'm going to go ahead and lower this tripod a little bit. Well, no, I think this is fine. So the 1-inch headspace is considered to be the optimal headspace by Hiram Cook, which if you've watched many of his videos, you will know that he has the experience to claim the expertise. He really knows what he's doing. Hiram Cook has tested more alcohol burners and more configurations than I think anyone else has. He really knows his stuff. So that's why we were shooting for a 1-inch headspace with this setup. And the only reason that it's not exactly 1 inch is because we needed the simmer ring to be able to overlap the edges of the Nano. And so we were trying to accomplish both of those goals, get a 1-inch headspace and allow full range use of the simmer ring, which the 15/16 does that perfectly. So that's the compromise height there that works really well for us. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights back on. These are metal halide lights, so they take a while to warm up. I don't know if they'll come back on or not, but I hope you can see well enough. So we're at 191. I got to be ready to write down this time. We're just hit 5 minutes right now. 197, 198. Okay, 5:08. Okay, I'll go ahead and move this temperature probe over to the next unit. So this is the medium headspace. And okay, it took it a while to, okay, so it's at 172 degrees. It took it a while to, okay, and I've got to remember all the stuff I'm trying to do here. Snuff that out. Okay, now this is one thing I kind of wanted people to see, is that while that was just burning full blast, I'm able to reach in and pull it out with my fingers. So that shows you that the bottom of that Trangia alcohol burner is not going to get hot enough to damage that O-ring. So that's sealed up. I was a little slow getting it. There's just a lot of things to juggle here and not a lot of time to do it in. So now we're on our second sample, which is at 192 degrees. It's getting close. Let me get a simmer ring and the cap for this sample ready. Okay, we're at 649. And I'll go ahead and move the probe over. Take that off. Snuff that. Pull it out. Put the cap on. I don't know why that takes so long to... There we go. Kind of an annoying beeping there. I apologize for that. I'll go ahead and get this cap out of here. Which the cap isn't even... I mean, it's warm, but it's not at all hot. Okay. Uh-oh. This one's temperature is not reading right. I think it's reached its temperature, 753. The alarm didn't go off. There it goes. Okay. So I'm going to say that was 753. Because I looked down, it was 200 degrees, but the alarm hadn't gone off. So I think that was a little bit of a malfunction. Something. So I'll go ahead and pull that one out. We'll put the cap on so they're not evaporating. Okay, so now that we've done that, now let's get a end weight on our Trangia alcohol burners. Okay, so I weighed these. The first weight was taken with the screw cap off. So we're at 116 grams. Let's go ahead and weigh the next one. It's 100 and, let's just make sure because it bounced around a little bit. Okay, 116 grams as well. And our sample with the largest amount of headspace, the 1 3/4 headspace, weighs in at 116. Let's just double check that. 110. I'm starting to wonder about this scale now. $110. Let's just 110. Okay. So those are my results. I hope that it was helpful. I'm going to go ahead and just zoom in on all these papers so that if you want to look at them more closely, you can pause your video and just take it in, write it down, whatever you want to do. So there's the information for the first sample, the 1 3/4 inch headspace. Then we have the 1 3/16 of an inch headspace. There's the information for that sample. And then we have the headspace for the 15/16 sample, the 15/16 headspace sample. So that concludes the alcohol burner headspace test. And then I was also just going to show you real quick here the gas burner attachment and how that works. Okay, so here we have the gas burner attachment. I'm going to go ahead and you run the hose through this side hole here, and then you just run this down and it actually snaps right into place. You can see how that snaps right in there nice and tight. So I'll go ahead and attach my gas canister. And I'll go ahead and fire this up. And there we have gas. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the lights back off. And let's go ahead and pull this camera down so I can show you the flame. So having the gas burner attachment really makes this just an extremely versatile little stove. So now you can cook with gas, you can cook with alcohol, you can cook with wood, several different setups with wood, either the crossed feed fuel delivery system or a Swedish fire torch pre-fueling. So let's go ahead and turn this burner down and just see how low it will go. Because some of these gas burners don't really have a low per se, and that can be kind of troublesome if you're trying to cook. If all you want to do is boil water, then you don't really need a low. But if you want to simmer something or just keep something warm, it's nice to be able to have a really nice low temperature adjustment. So I'm just going to see how low I can get this without it being, you know, see if it starts to flicker or what it does. So that might be about as low as I'm going to be able to go with that. Let's just see if I can go lower. Well, it does have a really nice adjustment. I mean, I'm really throttled back a long ways, and it's just very fine-tuned adjustment here. So that's a really nice low temperature. And then let's go ahead and crank it up here. You can really crank it up a lot hotter than what I think I would want to do. You know, that's really high. Wow, that's really hot. So if you really want to boil your water fast, you most certainly can. I'm going to go ahead and turn this down. But there we have it. The gas burner attachment. Well, I hope this experiment has been helpful as far as those of you who really like to use alcohol. Once again, here's the information on that experiment, the headspace, the start weight, the end weight, everything you need to know about each of these samples. And I hope I haven't forgotten anything. You know, I usually do. But I hope this will be helpful for everybody, and I really appreciate everybody's watching and the likes and the comments. It really means a lot to me. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.